How is it going, you lovely lot? We are back, top of the league, but we are only 3 points away from being in 11th. This might be the most mad league table I've ever seen. I hope you guys are having a lovely Thursday. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have got a triple header for your viewing pleasure, and yes, these games are not the easiest. Now, last episode, I did leave things with Josh Brookins signing up in the air. The man has signed for us. The 26-year-old is just the ultimate utility man. Backup right back, backup left back, emergency backup squad status, so he's not going to kick up a stink, and just one of those boring, sensible transfers, really. And well, sensible is the name of the game. Herbie James has not been sold yet, although he has still requested to leave the club. Admittedly, in the games I've played him in, he's really not been that good. And elsewhere, one major sale to mention, Khan Bennett has left the building. Of course, he was one of these players who was here when we first arrived at the club. Loyal servant to the team, wasn't that useful in the Enterprise South. Not going to use him this year in the league. And as a result, we've sold him for £20,000, which actually, for a player of his quality, I think is quite good money. The finances of the club were a little bit of an unknown. Our wage budget has grown a lot lately. Of course, we spent a load of money on training facilities, and since the season has started, we've actually only made a minor loss of about £15,000, which is definitely something we can afford to lose. And in fact, this month, we're currently making a profit. It's weird, really. In real life, Lewis have had some financial issues in recent years, and yet in this save game, I just feel like we've always been fairly financially sustainable, which often for these save games in the lower leagues is, well, I'll be honest, it's a little unheard of. It's unusual for me not to be worrying about money. Now, since we're last here, 6 games played in the league, and we've looked pretty blooming good. The first game we played was against Hartlepool on the road, a 3-1 win. Pierre, I'm going to be honest, a contender for goal of the season. How about this for an 87th minute strike? We did go on to get another goal in the 89th minute to win this game 3-1. Unsurprisingly, that goal won goal of the month in the league. And also, whilst we're here, can we appreciate this updated screen? I am in the newly updated Steam beta branch, and whilst there are some bugs visible on these new match report screens, it is just a massive improvement. And once the bugs are fixed, I think I might be in love with this screen. Following on from that win, a difficult game against Scunthorpe, a rerun of the FA Trophy final. They broke the deadlock in the 61st minute. Lloyd with a goal. Shall we question the goalkeeper? Actually, it wasn't Lloyd. It was Wright with the goal. Lloyd set him up. I'm still going to question the goalie. I don't know what Ranson was doing here. The good news is we didn't rue that error. Princewell got a goal for us in the 62nd minute, and a little later, Welch went on to grab a second for us to secure a 2-1 win at the dripping pan. This was actually a really, really close game, so the fact we came away victors felt kind of significant. Obviously, we lost to this team on penalties in the FA Trophy final. A little bit of revenge here. Against Truro, who were bottom of the league without a win, Pierre opened up the goal scoring with an absolute banger. Yeah, apparently this man has these in his back pocket. Of course, was a sub for us through the first couple of games, forced his way into the first team. Scoring goals like this is always going to be nice, but we actually went on to lose this game 2-1. Truro scored in the 93rd minute. Currently, they are 22nd in the league with 5 points. This is the only game they've won. That defeat was disappointing, and I'll tell you what, I was disappointed when we missed a penalty against Gateshead. It was late on in the game. I thought we'd ruined our opportunity, but we did go on to scrape a 1-0 win. Princewell grabbing the goal, and I'll be honest, without this man's goals, we would be in trouble. He has 8 goals through 8 games in the league, and yeah, when we signed him, I thought he'd be good enough for the National League. That hunch is turning out to be correct. Following on from that result, an amazing win on the road against Newport County, 4-0 there before a draw most recently against Sutton United, a game where, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know how we didn't win. The stats of this game are absolutely stupendous. I mean, you can see here, a 2.92 XG, scoring 1 goal is disappointing. I'll be real with you, I made a lot of our new look attack. We have Princewell, we brought in a lot of new players around him who I was really excited by. None of them are really delivering right now. Aaron Richards has missed a short spell of football through injury, and the good news is he's come back from that injury and started to improve the 18-year-old. But a 6.8 rating for him is disappointing. And as for Zestrevic, John, he made an absolutely amazing debut, didn't he, with an assist. Since then, he's actually dropped out of first-team contention, come off the bench a couple of times. Yeah, not ideal with these big guns just not showing up yet. And speaking of big guns not showing up, Diakite is missing the first game today against Morecambe. He's on international duty with the Ivory Coast youth team, which, I'll be honest, is annoying. Also, what is annoying is he's wanted by Portsmouth. Portsmouth in the Championship should have some quite big money, and when you look at Diakite's valuation of £500,000, I'm looking towards the upper end of things here. If an offer like that came in, it would probably be kind of hard to say no. Partially because it's a whole lot of money, but also because Jeffrey Agbangbi, I think, is actually quite a good plan B alternative. The backup left wing back hasn't been given an opportunity yet. When you compare these guys head to head, there's not really a world of difference. Anyway, I did open things up by looking at this league table, but I need to stress, yes, we are top of the league. It's anything but a done deal. This is an incredibly close season so far. A couple of defeats, we could find ourselves down in like 16th. So we can't take anything for granted today. First matchup we've got is Morecambe. After that, we're taking on Rochdale in 8th. And after that, we're taking on Fylde in 4th. Obviously, Bangby is going to come in at left wing back for Diakite, and then we need to do a little bit of shuffling around on the bench. But in terms of the bulk of the team, I am choosing to persist with quality over form, which might be a little bit controversial, especially for someone like Pierre. Obviously, you've seen he scored 2 bangers. Outside of those 2 goals, I'll be honest, he's not actually contributed a great deal, but I've started him in a couple of games off the back of it. He is definitely forcing his way into at least contention. And I will also say, if you're sat thinking, Jack, it's Morecambe, why are we not doing an away day? I've done a lot of away days through my days of doing Park to Prem. I remember the Morecambe away day. I feel like the magic will be lost, and you know what? We've got Fylde later today. I've never done that away day, and I like the unknown. Anyway, Morecambe are playing a 4-3-3. Of course, a team that have gone through some pretty nasty financial turmoil in recent years. In this universe, they've levelled out in the National League. They're looking to guide themselves towards promotion. They are currently joint on points with us. This is a massive game. Okay, through almost 20 minutes of this game, Morecambe, I don't want to say in complete control, but they're definitely having more joy than we are. Look at this. We are yet to have a shot on goal, admittedly. They're not exactly doing a whole load either. It's weird, despite the fact we're top of the league, I don't actually feel all that impressed with how we've performed so far. Obviously, we had that great game against Boston. I still think that was probably our best performance of the year. It really looked like our attack was all on song, and since then, our attack has been anything but on song. And well, we might need our defence to do something here as a Bangby slotting in at left wing back does an okay defensive header, but Spalding skips past him, pulls it in, and that goes straight through Ranson's legs. Would Diakite have stopped this happening? Maybe. Spalding's turn of pace there is sublime. The ball in is nice. And, I mean, I can't really blame Ranson there. The shot is from a yard out. I'll be honest, in that first half, we have been absolutely tragic. We've not even had a shot on goal. I know someone's going to ask, what is OPPDA? That is opposition passes per defensive action. I'll be honest, the numbers that the Football Manager Matt Gendron gives are a little nonsensical compared to real life. I believe in real life, high pressing is like kind of 7 to 9 actions. Football Manager's stats are slightly different. I don't normally look at this stat because it's not normally shown to you in game. I'm going to have to figure out what's normal in matches. Anyway, I'll be honest, we have been so bad in that game. I'm considering shifting to plan B, and I know you're thinking, Jack, what is plan B? Well, let me tell you now, in the last month, I've been cooking a potential 4-2-3-1 that we could run with our current set of players. It's set up in such a way we can actually do it without making any changes. Joe Gibbard basically drops back to play alongside Watson. Welch, who normally plays at centre mid, plays at centre attacking mid, and then when we don't have the ball, you can see it's a bit boring, really. Just the wing backs move deeper. I always feel like when you have a change of system like this, it just feels like you're not using in and out possession tactics properly. In terms of team instructions, the current setup is the exact same as our previous shape, but I do wonder if in this moment here, it's just worth trying to press a little bit more and try and make something happen. I'm actually not going to use step up more, but we will use counter press and press more often here. Line of engagement and defensive line will keep it standard. And at least for now, as we head into the second half, we are going to refrain from making substitutes and changing personnel. We need to change up the system. This is actually the kind of tactic I plan to use in home games, and I'm yet to deploy it in a match. This feels like a good time to find out if it can just produce something for us. A little bit of a change of approach, getting in a centre attacking mid, 2 defensive mids for a bit more solidity. We're immediately on the attack. Princewell heads it in, and it's 1-1. I look like a genius. I mean, obviously, I don't want to get too carried away here because it's 5 minutes into the second half, but it's crazy how just a little change. Our 4-3-3, we move one of the centre mids deeper, one of the centre mids forward, and immediately we create something. Albeit, yes, I'll hold up my hands. It was a set piece. They've now got a set piece of their own. If all is fair in the world, they're going to score this. Maxwell shoots. Seeley scores. It's offside. The linesman's flagged. And it's not going to count. That's a let-off. Let's shout some encouragement at the players here. Give me green, happy, smiley faces. We've had one shot and we've scored it. I'm changing personnel. I mentioned our wide attacking mid's not really performing today. They've not performed all season. Horn is going to move in on the right-hand side. We're also going to bring in Mikey King to play on the left-hand side as an inverted winger. I do feel like this is a role he can kind of play well, although he probably is just better suited, to be honest, to being an inside forward. Richards and Zevkovic, John, they've just not quite been good enough yet. I'm wondering if I want to make more changes here. Gibbard is on a 6.47. You know what? Let's get LOM into the team. He is very, very good from a defensive point of view. I mean, an hour has been played here. Morecambe, as the home team, and just with how this game has gone, are going to feel inclined, I feel like, to go on the attack here. That's maybe going to leave them open on the break if we can just find a way through. Rancid is going to look to launch it. Players are underneath it, and sadly, it's only shirts in red underneath it as they now look to get it forward. Although that's a lovely little header by Tayo. Horn forward. Is Princewell on here? He takes it down superbly. The composure wasn't quite there. It wouldn't have counted anyway. That's what we want to see, though. Morecambe's defensive line nice and high. Space for us to get in behind like that. With 20 minutes left, I feel like 1-1 would actually be quite a good result. Welch is on a 6.25 rating, and Princewell, despite scoring, is on a below a 7. That, to me, indicates change might be needed. Going to bring in Pierre at centre attacking mid, and then we're going to bring in James. Although I am actually going to play James out on the left. And Mikey King, you're playing through the middle, son. He came through our youth intakes. I want him to step up at this level. He's not really done it so far. If he could score here, it would be monumental. They're on the attack, though. We kind of initially deal with it here. Watson is going to play it down the line towards Pierre. Of course, he scored a few bangers. If he gets another one here, I might start starting him and start worshipping him as well. Speaking of which, he's in possession now. Please don't shoot from there, though, Pierre. Inside our own half. Getting here forward, King is in behind. Has he timed his run? No. Okay, he was offside. That miss would have annoyed me otherwise. 3 minutes left here. We've had a couple of shots in our favour. Those offside chances, obviously, not chances that are reflected on the stats. They were golden opportunities if our strikers could time their runs. I feel like it's always interesting. You can kind of look at the stats of the game. It doesn't always tell you the full picture. We've made all our subs. James is on the pitch with an injury. Tough titties. He's got to stay on here as we have one late last attack. That cross is overhit. There's 8 minutes of added time. 5 minutes of it remain. It's dinked in. LOM. Looping header, can't keep it down. Is there to be one last final opportunity here maybe, or is it going to be a share of the spoils? I think it's going to be the latter. To be honest, I'm kind of happy with that. We were not good enough here. With that draw, we have dropped down to third, and one of the teams that's gone above us is Wealdstone, who got promoted with us last year. So that's interesting, isn't it? They are, in fact, a team that have only lost one of their first 9 games. I mean, it turns out the National South was just full of big teams last year. Herbie James is only out for 1 day, so breathe a sigh of relief, Herbie. Teams aren't going to be put off signing you because of an injury. I mean, I've promised I'm going to sell him. No one's going to want to buy him, are they? Because I've literally just bought him. And as the headline suggests, we've lost top spot. Why does that feel so super dramatic and awful? Like, we drew away against Morecambe. That's a good result. Anyway, our next game is at home against Rochdale. Hoping we can win that one. It's actually 2 weeks away or 10 days away. A little bit of a chance maybe to rest the players. That feels good. Not winning 2. Let's try and win the next one. I know what you're thinking, Jack. You're over the wage budget by £600. What's happened? Well, firstly, let me adjust these budgets real quick, because the reality is we can afford the wages that I'm spending. And well, the big headline news is we've signed a new deal at the club to the end of next year. Originally, we had a 1-year deal. Now we've got a 2-year deal with an optional extension. I say optional. It's not optional. If we get promoted, they give me another year. But, my friends, that is not why we're over the budget. We've got a new highest earner at the club. And the man we've signed is Zane Alvarez. I really want to call him Dumbledore. I'm going to refrain from doing that. This man, look how happy he is. I'd be happy too if I was earning £1,200 a week. 15 acceleration, 16 pace, great work rate, 14 stamina. He's like the lower league N'Golo Kante. He was released by Brighton, and it is worth noting, Brighton is literally just down the road from Lewis, and I'm not sure if that's one of the reasons he was willing to join us, because I'm going to be frank, he is way too good for the National League. I'm going to assume, and I've not checked this yet, is he in the Media Dream 11? No, he should be. Let me tell you that now. You know what? I take it back. I've compared him to Dean Campbell in the Media Dream 11. He might not be quite as good. I digress. For us, he is going to be a massive upgrade. Joe Gibbard is the unfortunate soul who's maybe going to move down the pecking order slightly, although when it comes to Gibbard, I could easily end up playing him at right back, and he's still going to get some minutes for us, I'm sure. However, despite he's only a recent arrival, we are going to play Alvarez immediately in the team, and I'm going to drop Welch for this game, and I'm actually going to go with Pierre for his goal scoring. I'm looking at Richards and Evčević John thinking, you dudes were awful last match. I kind of feel like I've just got to keep some faith in them, though. Today's opposition in Rochdale is arguably, no, you know what, it's not arguably, it is the easiest of the 3 games today. After that last match where we drew, could already do with a win here. Has just dawned on me, I came up with that whole Dumbledore pun, didn't I, for Zane Alvarez. I think Dumbledore's name is Albus, not Russ. You know what, let's not let it ruin the joke. Let's get into the game today, and I do need to give a little shout out to Whitey, who used to do all my kits in past Football Managers. We now have the technology to have custom kits, so we've got a custom kit here at Lewis FC, both home and away, although I feel like the home kit is more noticeable. That is Fam Dabby Dozy, as is the fact we're starting off this game with 69% of the ball. Nice. We've got a throw in on the far side. Right, I need to grow up a little bit. Our team need to step up a little bit. Watson to Albus. Diakite, skipping past his man, cutting inside, back from international duty, gives it back to Zayn. He pulls the trigger. Imagine if he'd scored that. How's the keeper saved it? I mean, I've brought in Alvarez, right, for his legs in the midfield. His speed and his defensive ability and work rate is kind of what made me gravitate towards him. Have we got a chance here? He nearly scored again in the rebound. If he gets goals, that would be a really pleasant surprise. We're still on the attack here, by the way. He's on the ball again. Every time he gets the ball in my head, I'm thinking, shoot! Definitely shouldn't be doing it. Not quite half an hour played in this game. We have become Morecambe in this fixture. They are yet to have a shot on goal. We have been dominant, but without really finding a breakthrough yet. So Zevcevic John, though, can he provide it here? Gives it wide to Diakite, the number 3, looking to cut inside. Lays it to Watson. Watson stepping forward with the ball. Princewell, Zevcevic John, Diakite, Princewell. What a goal that is. That is like prime Barcelona in the early 2010s. That was beautiful. It's Princewell's 10th of the year, and I'm going to rate that goal a 10 out of 10. The movement here is absolutely superb. That back heel is sensational. Diakite's pass perfectly weighted, and he just stabs it in with the outside of his right foot. Good to see Zevcevic John getting involved in the build-up play there. Richards, the right attacking mid. If he could get involved here with an assist from a corner, that would be delightful. Whips it in. JJ scores. It's 2-0. And from having not scored when I felt like we deserved to score, we've now got 2 back-to-back. I was going to say we need to turn the dripping pan into a fortress this year. Why does that sound like the least intimidating sentence ever? I still don't know why the stadium's called the dripping pan, but I'm not going to question it. It's one of the greatest names in, well, world sports. Not even just football. The dripping pan. It just sounds like a pantheon, doesn't it? JJ, the goal scorer at centre-back with the ball, laying it wide. Can we put on a gladiatorial performance here in this pantheon? The ball's inside. Princewell scores. It is 3-0. There were some people getting ready to write in the comments, you know, yeah, Richards got an assist, but it was a corner. It doesn't count. It's not a real assist. He's got a real one there. He put the ball in, perfectly weighted. Princewell gave the keeper no chance. Yeah, we're overperforming our XG, but when you look at the stats of this game, we are well worth a 3-0 lead. You're doing brilliantly. Keep it going. Look at the green happy smiley faces. I feel as happy as these lot do. The Rochdale manager is not happy. He's made a triple change at half-time here. This is probably the kind of game where I should look to rest some players and maybe give some alternative players some minutes. If we get a 4th, we will definitely do that. If they score here, might reconsider that plan just slightly. Richards looking for a hat-trick of assists, although on this occasion he's caught a little flat-footed and unaware as the defender wins it off behind him. And now Higgins is looking to exploit that space in behind on the side. It's pulled across goal. It's scored by Porter. And maybe don't celebrate too much just yet. This was a bit of a weird goal, wasn't it? Higgins plays it across. It's deflected away. Who was that? I think it was JJ with it. Keeper committed to the initial save. Couldn't get there. Couldn't get up quick enough either. Rochdale get one back early doors. That was, by the way, their first shot on target. Porter was one of the 3 subs we brought on at half-time. Their manager is a genius. If you were wondering, Jack, I thought the stadium was undergoing renovations. It is. It's the near side stand that you can't see from all angles that's being worked on. Richards in behind. He should have scored that. But yeah, just as a little reminder, we're going to have 1,000 more, well, I was going to say seats added, but it's actually just standing capacity being added. Although I think it is just seats in 3D because Football Manager doesn't do standing. When that's done, I do wonder if that's going to help just to even out our finances, or even if we're going to fill the stadium. Okay, Watson at defensive mid, I am going to take off here. I'll level with you. I've been pretty underwhelmed by Watson so far since we moved him to defensive mid. I feel like he's maybe a player who hasn't quite made that step up with the rest of the team. I am going to bring in Welch here, and I'm also going to bring in Gibbard. We're going to give Pierre and Watson the huck. I really want to make sure we're still giving King loads of football. We're going to play him out on the left-hand side, although I'll be completely honest with you, performance-wise this year, he's been pretty underwhelming thus far. I don't want to get too complacent with our changes just yet. There is still 20 minutes left to be played here, although that is quickly becoming 10 minutes. 3-1 to the good. This is fine. Diakite looking to bring the ball forward here. Is on a booking. Please be sensible, Diakite. There's no point in putting in a crunching tackle here, as King, who we've pulled on, is, well, going on a decent little run. Dinks in behind for the left wing back. He squares it. Princewell adds another. The man is on fire today. It is a hat-trick for Princewell, his 2nd of the year. He got one against Newport County. He's got one here. The ball was played across, and let's be honest, he was never going to miss that, was he? Just as you think it's all over, it might not be yet. Welch whips in. Princewell's under it. I thought he was going to get another. Zane, the new signing, is going to get on the ball. The non-league Kante gives it to Shield. Back to Zane. Do something magical. The number 39 lays it inside to Richards. Can turn. Can shoot. That nearly found the top corner. That finessed effort was the final of the game. I mean, what about that for a dominant display? Unfortunately for us, Torquay did win, but with that result, we do move back up to second. We have got now a little cushion to the teams behind us, although the next opposition today are Fylde, who, if they beat us by 4 goals, they'd go above us. I hope we're not about to lose 4-0 to them, mind you. Also, I didn't realise that was Alvarez's first ever game of professional football. He's 22. That is late to make your senior debut. Hopefully, that's the first of many games he's going to play for us. Now, we are coming back for the Fylde game. We are doing an away day. We have got the FA Cup 4th qualifying round. We've been drawn against Real Bedford, who I believe in real life are like bankrolled thanks to their owner investing in Bitcoin, which I know sounds like the most 2025 sentence ever. They're currently top of the Enterprise North. I think they are relatively newly promoted. They're running away with things. It's not a free, easy game by any means, but focus on the league has to be the aim this year. Also, if I'm not mistaken, this badge isn't even their actual badge. I think the logo pack's got that wrong, but it doesn't matter. Which I don't know, considering they've got players on £5,000 a week. Like, maybe I should be a little bit more concerned for this game. They have actually got a little bit of quality. I'm going to come back happy or sad. We're taking on Fylde. Don't go anywhere. Well, good news, we did manage to avoid any potential embarrassment, albeit 1-0, the result against Real Bedford. Not exactly convincing. In truth, it was a game that lacked quality, but one game that won't be lacking quality is our first round draw. We have been drawn against Plymouth Argyle, away from home, taking on the League One outfit. That game's later on this month. Of course, we're doing that tomorrow. As for the here and now, though, we've got an away trip to Fylde. They are down in 8th, but not far behind us. We want to catch Torquay. An away win would be big. A good away day to Mill Farm would be even better, though. It's time for 20% of the audience's favourite part of the episode. It's time for an away day. We are heading north near Blackpool, and we are heading somewhere around here. Yes, I definitely didn't look at the team location before. Now, ignore the bit in the top left. I don't want to alarm anyone. There's a KFC, a Greggs, a Burger King and a Starbucks. It's a very, very strong start. Also, it's got a very good 4-star hotel at the stadium. That's a bit random, is it not, for a National League team? I have to say, the actual training facilities here look pretty good. I assume this is where the football team train mid-week. And the car park, I mean, it's not quite Boston United levels of satisfaction, but it's kind of big. Don't mind me just inspecting the facilities. Burger King, and then there is a Spa shop. I used to get all my football stickers from a Spa when I was little. Next door, there's a Greggs. And a little down this road here, we have Fylde Stadium, which I have to say, they are one of the cooler badges. I don't mean to simp for Fylde. It's just, you know, they've got a windmill, they've got a jet, they've got a boat and some kind of church, I think. It's just quite nice. I mean, the stadium from the outside looks like a hotel, but I guess knowing what we know, that does kind of make sense. I have to question, why is there a Fylde car? Like, why does the team need an official car? Is that for new signings? Is that how they get them to the club? No idea. And without being rude, the car park, it's just a bit boring, isn't it? It needs some trees. I'm thinking it, though. You're thinking it. Are there dots in the ground? Please tell me there's dots in the ground. Oh, there's some dots in the hotel. Oh, it literally is in the hotel. I feel like I'm not meant to be here. How did they take a picture in here without it appearing in the mirror? How have they done that? How have they taken a picture without being in the mirror? Demons. Apparently there's a church in the stadium too. What does this stadium not have? I mean, Milano's is the name of it. This is just a restaurant and bar. I wish we could see the football pitch. I assume it's through the heavenly light. Either that or I'm about to die, and that is the pearly gates through there. I mean, there's a cafe. There's a cafe, and they're importers of cocoas, which I assume is a brand I've just never heard of. The annoying thing is, despite all the dots in and around the ground, none of them are actually in the stadium, which is just sad, really, isn't it? Apparently there's a sports bar as well. So a sports bar, cafe, church, hotel, football stadium. We've seen everything except the football stadium. I forgot to mention earlier, there's also an Aldi next to the stadium, so you can get your meal deal pre-game if you want to save some money. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm still just thinking about the fact I can't see a camera in the mirrors. There's no footage of the pitch whatsoever, so I'll just leave you with this. How have they done it? I know the answer, it's probably Photoshop, but don't ruin the magic. Okay, look, Mill Farm as a football stadium, maybe lacking based on what we can see. As an experience, one of the better ones of the away days so far this series. I'm going to give it very respectable 6 out of 10. And I know someone's going to be cross I've given a 6 out of 10 for a stadium where we've not even seen the pitch. Look, there was a lot of good stuff going on. In terms of team news for this one, we are sticking with Princewell up top. I'm keeping faith with Richards and Zevcevic. John, I feel like we've just got to give them game time. Eventually, they've got to come good. Like, he's in the Media Dream 11. He's got to be there for a reason. They're rocking a 4-2-3-1. We're rocking a 4-3-3. Also, their ground is very big. In-game, very empty. I actually don't know what kind of attendance is filed get in real life, but their stadium did look very nice. Although based on all the sub-businesses to the stadium, maybe the football team isn't actually the main earner. If you are a Fylde native, I don't even know if Fylde's an actual place, but if you know the story of the football team, let us know it down in the comments. I'd like to when people chip it in the comments with local knowledge. We need more of that with the away days. Anyway, in terms of local knowledge, I'm hoping their defence don't know how to deal with our visiting attack. Welch has the ball, whips it towards the back post, headed away by O'Reilly. Diakite at left-back is going to keep it alive. The number 3 is charging. Skips past everyone. Squares it. Welch scores. That is vintage Diakite, isn't it? The left-back is like Forrest Gump at times. He just runs. He doesn't know where he's running. He doesn't know why he's running, but he picks the right time on this occasion to pull the ball back across, and Welch was there to finish it. Obviously, Pierre last game did play that centre-mid role. We brought Welch back into the fray. I do feel like sometimes in Football Manager, just dropping a player for one game, it like gets a bee in their bonnet. They come into that next game as a starter with a point to prove. Maybe that's what's happened with Welch there. Speaking of the devil, he's in possession again. Gives it to Richards, cutting inside. Has options left, has options right. Picks out Zane. Played wide. Diakite again. I mean, he had an assist. He very nearly had a goal. Burke with a throw-in. Looks to get it long. Obviously, a great start for us so far in this game, but we need to press home our advantage and, well, you wouldn't bet against us getting the ball from a direct ball forward and maybe launching another attack. JJ, win a header to score one last game, wins a defensive header there, and now it's Princewell and Richards working it nicely. We've hit the crossbar a second time here. I feel like if hitting the crossbar was worth a goal, we'd be running away with the league this year. The amount that we hit the woodwork is actually silly. Half-time in this game, 1 goal to the good. They did have a little bit of momentum towards the end, but we look worth our lead at least right now. Don't get complacent out there. Look at that. Good response from the players. It's not been a game full of chances so far, this one. Anything but a classic. But as long as we get a win, I don't mind this not being a classic. We can win every game 1-0 for all I care. We want to go up. That is our only aim this year. And to do that, we have to win the league. And given the fact Torquay haven't slipped up in a little while, games like this feel key. Welch, Richards, shoots. That is a ridiculous save by their keeper. And our play here, I'm going to make some rather familiar changes. We're going to bring some fresh legs in. I am going to bring in Horn. I'm going to bring in King in the wide areas. Princewell, I feel like we've just got to keep some faith in. Alba is still getting up to full match sharpness. We'll bring in Gibbard there. Diakite on a booking does scare me a little bit. Ibangbi, I don't actually feel like played too badly in the first game against Morecambe. Arguably at fault for their goal, but besides that, he actually got kind of a good rating. So we're going to play him in here. 4 changes made, 1 in the back pocket. Looking at the stats here, 1-0 feels like a bit of a disservice for how good we've been. 19 minutes remaining, the next goal in this game feels like it's going to be rather important, doesn't it? Although, if it goes their way, it's not the kind of importance I want to see. Thomas is streaming forward with the ball here. Missed tackle by JJ. And that was almost an insane wonder goal. Would have been completely of our own doing had it got in. A wayward pass from the back towards Shield was intercepted, but maybe a little bit of a warning there. I'm just going to slow the tempo down a little bit, select shorter passing and just put in pass to feet here. And in possession, I'm just going to move our wing-backs back. I feel like we just want to be sensible here. Full-backs, they don't need to get forward and over-commit. We're away from home, let's be sensible. Just a nice, normal change to hopefully have a nice, normal, relaxing end to this match. I was hoping we were just going to cut to the end of the game. I was hoping we were just going to see the assistant lifting up the board and showing some extra time. But no, it can never be that simple. But we have got the ball here, knocking the ball to feet, just trying to hold on to possession to kill off this game. Horn, the record transfer, plays it forward to King. The 2 wide players brought on off the bench, linking up. King cuts inside, hits the woodwork. And if they now got the other end and score, I'm going to live to regret the fact we've hit the woodwork 3 times in this game. I mean, the attack is still technically ongoing here. It's not anymore. There's 3 minutes of added time. Please hold on, lads. We deserve to win this game. We are going to win this game. Maybe a bit disappointing from our attack. But, I mean, let's be honest. Look at this match momentum. Nobody gave us a chance. We proved the doubters wrong. A great clean sheet on the road is always nice too. Apparently, the Hibernian manager was looking at Diakite. He better be ready to pay a pretty penny. And a good day gets better. Wealdstone, down in third, our former, obviously, fellow compatriots of the National South, they won 2-1 against Torquay, which does mean we started this episode top of the league. We are going to end it top 2. Some really good results here. Admittedly, you know, a narrow win against Fylde, a narrow win against Bedford in the FA Cup. But wins are all that matter. Next time out, we are coming back for the FA Cup first round proper League One opposition, a big away day. I'll see you guys tomorrow with that to end the week with a bang. I'm out.